Hallelujah, hallelujah. So fast you can go now, yeah. Okay, so the topic for today, like I said, yeah, is called God is the greatest. And you know, a lot of people, they go around in the world, they say, like Muhammad Ali, he said, I'm the greatest. That's his opinion, right? So I can say Pastor Jimba Alex was the best footballer that ever lived.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Yes.
Some people say King Pele is the greatest player that ever lived. Is the greatest player that ever lived. Some people say Messi is the greatest player that ever lived. These are all different opinions, right? Some people say Usain Bolt is the greatest athlete that ever lived. Some people will say it's Carl Lewis. Some people will say is it Jordan? There's a guy called Johnson, Michael Johnson. So, but greatness comes in different ways. Okay. But I'm trying to let you understand that when I'm doing this event, which is called God is the Greatest here, I'm trying to show you that God is in a total different category and dimension altogether. So when they say God is the greatest, we're not talking about a human being here. And I'm going to try to show you what God's greatness really means. Okay? So God's greatness really means, or what makes God the greatest here, is the amount of the intensity that God possesses. So you see, if they're saying Muhammad Ali is a greater boxer than Mike Tyson here, maybe they're neck and neck. Okay? If me and you done an exam in class and I became the greatest in writing or whatever, when they compare me to the guy that came second, maybe it's close, isn't it? No, but with God, his greatness is different. What makes God the greatest here is the amount of intensity considered, in terms of how high above he is compared to human beings. So we cannot compare ourselves to God because number one, God has already made us.
Yes.
And when God was making us, we didn't have no knowledge or ability or awareness of what he was doing. So when we're saying God is the greatest, it means that God is highly above and is in a different dimension that we can't even fathom.
Yes.
We can't even comprehend, we can't even understand. It's not even worth thinking about it.
Yes.
Look at the world and its entirety. Look at the world and its abstractness. Look at the world and its uniqueness. Look at the world and its beyondness, Look at the world and look at heaven. God is even higher than all these things. These are his possessions. So you know, like you wake up in the morning, you put your keys in your pocket. Dr. Judith, wake up. You know what? When you wake up in the morning, you put your keys in your pocket. You get your car. You start your car. You get your phone. You put it in your pocket. These things are possessions, right? That's how the world and heaven and beyond heaven and every creation, these are all parts of God's possessions. Like you put your key in your pocket. God can put this world in his pocket. So he is far above everything that we can imagine or understand. So it's like God stands out. God stands out and he's very highly important. Hello. God's greatness comes with importance. So God is not the greatest because he's the greatest for himself. You know, some people are the greatest at what they do, but they're very selfish. No, God's greatness, is of high importance. He is the greatest because he's the one that keeps us alive. So God is like that fountain we can always run to, you see, and say, and he can give us more life. He is truly the greatest of the greatest. God is above any being in rank. So you know, like you get a human being, or you get an animal, or you get living things here. These are all creations. God wasn't created. You see, so his greatness is majestic. God's greatness is immeasurable. You see that? So rather than thinking of God's greatness in terms of comparison. Think of God's greatness as in, I can't work this thing out. It's the highest spiritual dimension. For instance, God does exist, yeah, but no one's ever seen God. Juice Linton. No one's ever seen God. God exists, but no one's ever seen God. And God is strikingly outstanding indeed. Oh, strikingly outstanding. So that means if God was to come into a place, God wouldn't even have to introduce himself. Do you know what, yeah? God can come into a place, and just for the simple fact that you saw what you saw, you can die. Strikingly outstanding indeed. That's God's greatness.
Yes.
Strikingly
yes.
outstanding
yes.
indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just like you had a little vision and you collapsed or you died.
Yes.
You're not supposed to see that.
Yes.
You're not supposed to see that.
Yes.
This is greatness.
Wow.
Galore.
Wow.
This is outstandingly and strikingly
Yes.
greatness indeed.
That's it. Oh,
Outstanding. I can't even find the words.
Yes.
So if we go into the Bible right now, Kevin,
Yes.
can you read for me Hebrews 6, chapter 6, verses 13.
Just 13?
Yeah, just 13.
When God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no other greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself.
Hello? I got that. Can you read that again? Read that again. You read that again.
When God made his promise to Abraham, since there was no one greater for him to swear by, he swore by himself.
Hello? God made a promise to Abraham, yeah? And God said, because there's no one greater to...
That's right.
To what?
There's none greater than him.
No, hang on. What did he say? No one is greater. So what? So read that again.
When God made his promise to Abraham...
He made a promise to Abraham, yeah.
Since there was no one greater
Yeah.
for him to swear by,
Yeah.
he swore by himself.
So God made a promise to Abraham, and he said to Abraham, since there's no one greater for him to swear by, he's gonna swear by himself.
Yes.
That just tells you everything you need to know.
Yes.
He made a promise to Abraham, I'm looking for someone that someone higher than me, that I can look up to and say, this is what I'm going to do, but I can't find that person or whatever. Nothing even comes close, so I might as well do it myself.
Yes.
So the question I'm asking you today is, yeah, when you have problems, yeah, why do you have to go and seek a human being to sort out your problem for you? So when you go and seek a human being to sort out your problem for you, and if they can't sort out that problem, you become agitated, you become angry, you become frustrated. But the truth of the matter is, that person that didn't sort out your problem didn't do you wrong. Because number one, maybe they don't even have the means to sort out your problem. Number two, maybe they don't even want to sort out your problem. Number three, maybe they don't have to sort out your problem. Number four, maybe they got problems of their own. So when God said to Abraham, when God made the promise to Abraham and said, I'm looking for someone to swear by, but I can't find anyone, I might as well swear by myself. God is saying to you today that when you got a problem, He is the greatest.
Yes.
What's the name of this event? What's the name of this event?
God is the greatest.
And listen here, my brother here, I stopped asking people for anything long time ago.
Yes.
You know, okay, think about it. This might sound, I don't know what this might sound here. You know, like when we're thirsty, yeah, we go to the fountain, yeah, for water. And when we drink water,
yeah,
the water quenches our thirst. Yeah?
Yes.
So what about the water itself when it's thirsty? What does the water go to?
Wow, Lord have mercy.
You have you ever thought that?
Yes.
Yeah. Because that water's got problems as well, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So does that water come to us? There's a water there's a God inside that water that solves that water's problem.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what it sounds like, because water shouldn't really go to anyone for anything. But just think of it in that way.
Yeah.
When we're thirsty, we go to the fountain and we drink water, and it quenches our thirst.
Yeah.
But what about the water itself when it's got a problem? Who quenches that water first?
Yes.
This is where God comes into it. He is behind every problem.
He can quench the waters first.
Yeah. He is behind every problem.
Yes.
And this is why there's so many problems in the world today. Because rather than going to God and saying to God, this is what my problem is, this is what I'm facing, I can't really fix this thing anymore, please Heavenly Father, help me do this. We're looking for solutions in the wrong places. We're asking people that don't have no power.
Yes.
We're asking people that don't have no intensity.
True.
We're asking people that are not outstandingly striking,
Yes.
to come and sort out our problems.
Lord,
And they can't sort out our problems because they don't even understand it themselves.
yes.
This is why God is the greatest. He
Yes.
said, I promised Abraham
Yes.
that there's no one to swear by,
None.
so I will swear by myself.
Yes.
When God said that he promised Abraham here that there's no one to swear by, and he'd rather swear by himself, he's saying that man don't possess no power.
Oh.
He's saying don't look at Pastor Jimbo Alex's suit and his tie.
Yes.
And his hat
No.
and his shoes. And Pastor Jimbo Alex is a human being.
Yes.
If I'm doing this sermon right now and a wild dog comes in here, I'll drop the microphone and run away. And I say, God, the short of the juice into I'll run away because I don't have no power.
Yes.
I'll show you in a different way. If I preach this message here and a wild dog comes in here, I'll say this. God told Abraham, I'm not going to swear by anyone. I'm going to swear by I said, I'm God, And you know, Kevin, when I run outside here and I get the bus, I'm not going to stay downstairs. I'm not so scared. I'm going to go at the back and stay at the back of the bus upstairs.
You can't leave us.
Well, you'll be surprised, And at the bus, I said, Kevin, I don't know you, I said, Kevin, I told you to swear by God, So that's what God is trying to say to us. And that's why, okay, I'll give you another example. I've been in the ministry faith for like 10 years now. But within the process here, there was times when I didn't even have 10p. I didn't have 5p. And I was always consulting people. Help me, help me, help me. No one ever helped me. I can't swear by anybody to say this man helped me buy this or whatever. No one ever helped me. I'm doing this event today. I've invited so many people. How many people turned up? A lot of them didn't turn up. I can't swear by them.
No.
I have to go by God.
Lord have mercy.
And God is saying to Abraham here, God is saying to Abraham here that there's no one better or bigger or more superior than himself.
Yes.
He said there's no one holy out there.
Lord have mercy.
He's saying they're all fakesters and pranksters.
Yes.
They're dubious people. Come to him.
Yes.
He's the Most High.
Yes.
Humble yourself and come to him.
Yes.
That's what God is saying to you today. I don't know what your problem is.
Yes.
I don't know what the problem is.
No.
But I want you to recognize that God is the greatest.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. God is the greatest. Say, lift up your hand, say God is the greatest.
God is the greatest.
Lift up your hand, say God is the greatest.
God is the greatest.
Wave to Jesus, say God is the greatest. Wave to Jesus, say God is the greatest.
God is the
Say
greatest.
hallelujah.
Hallelujah.